So, right away. So move faster. Go on.
No, also, I speak 4 languages. My Hindi started, to like open. I just know how to say mujhe bahut bhuk lagi hai. That's basic survival. Yeah, please go ahead. Don't be shy. Okay, it's an interaction, it's a conversation. The videos work for inspiration. But,
So we have a question.
wait for the mic.
Ma'am, my name is Twinkle Agarwal. Ma'am, I would like to ask what yoga can teach us about leadership.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to answer this question. First of all, building a new discipline life is itself a leadership. So there are two kinds of leadership, primary leadership and secondary leadership. And this is not from the textbook, this is what I've experienced myself. The first leadership, the primary leadership, always comes through logic. What you feel is going to be right for you. So if you practice yoga for a week, I've been practicing with Ambassdor for the last 1 year. I was always into fitness, I used to play squash, run marathons. But the moment I saw something new coming up in my life, I didn't close myself in that, oh, it's a yoga, maybe it's like, the entire world is going gung-ho about it, and especially the people from the West are like too engaged into everything which is Indian, and I've already traveled to the West, so I know that, this huge hullabaloo about yoga and Ayurveda is all semantics. I gave it time, I absorbed, and then I later let the feeling and the effect of yoga gradually absorb in my body. And that is, in a way, kind of leadership to myself, a commitment to myself. Now I wake up, it sounds so much like, it changed my life kind of a session, like, मैं बहुत परेशान था. And मैं बिल्कुल परेशान नहीं था. I wasn't worried at all. Everything was going really good. But this new aspect of getting up 5:30 a.m. in the morning, having my meals in order, practicing yoga 6 in the morning, getting ready for office 9, this entire morning ritual is definitely self-leadership, and that actually comes along to, it just spills over throughout my day, so I know what I need to do. When I need to focus on my work, or when I need to have this extra meal, I don't have meals in my office, I don't eat any chapatis when I'm in Delhi till the time I don't go back home. So it's all commitment to myself, it's all self-leadership. And you'll be surprised how much people are going to be inspired if you're on the right track. I mean, I definitely followed her, so this is going to be a form of a secondary leadership, that I saw someone being on the right path. I mean, she's a living embodiment of how you can really have the elixir of youth and, stay energetic all day long. So if someone is doing the right thing, why not follow it? But at the same time, constantly staying committed to it is a form of leadership. I hope you understood it. It didn't got too messed up.
Thank you.
You said your name is Pingala. Yeah? Priyanka. Twinkle. So, I should add to what Ali said, that when I first met him, he was very rebellious, and he was always coming late to class, and he was finding the door shut, and he was complaining, and he was making excuses, which is really Indian, and I know all the excuses in the book from my friend Ali. So I think that's one way we sabotage ourselves. Because when we find something that it's for us and is good for us, we should have the inner discipline to take the steps to move it forward. Either if it's a dream, either if it's a vision, either it's a friendship, a relationship, whatever in life, it takes discipline. But it takes a discipline that is flexible. Because otherwise you're going to get too judgmental about yourself. So it's about doing your best every day without judging yourself, because we lose so much time judging our actions, our thoughts, our own being, how we look as women, how we're supposed to look, all that energy is getting in between us and our potential. So leadership is about bringing to the surface your true potential, and what that is completely different from one to other. So that's why with my students, I never judge them. I take them in. I try to move them into the right, let's say, method. And I'm here to tell you that I am only an arrow to my teacher, because my teacher is, for me, a true leader. Right now, he's very recognized in the West. Because why? Because he's walking the talk. There's a lot of gurus and a lot of masters, even in India, that are fake. And a leader needs to have discernment, to know when something is true and when something is fake. And for that, we need to make a lot of mistakes. That's how life is. But we also need to hang with people that are in our same frequency. Because if you're hanging with people that like to drink and party and go to bed late, and they're not really getting anything done in life, if you're part of that vibration, that's where you're going to get. Sometimes it means letting go of relationships that are not good for you and actually being alone for a while until your new tracks start showing up. So I will say that leadership is about being really picky. It's about being really selective on who you spend your energy with, and this goes as well for relationships. And where do you put your energy in every day? Before you actually go to bed, you should thank for the day and have a little plan about the next day. And then you wake up early, you do your ritual, you do your practice, and then you're going to get ideas on what is most urgent that day. Like I knew this morning I was going to meet you all. So I was really anticipating that. I was speaking to my friend in Costa Rica. He's so excited that we're here, that we're signing this MOU with you, that Costa Rican students are going to come here, that you're going to go there. I mean, I was really building up the energy for this event. And this is the highlight of my day. Like today, 26th of July, 2018, this happened. And I've been thinking about it for many minutes. So focus in your energy. That's what a yogi is. That's what a yogic mind is. And not getting distracted. That's a good and important advice for leadership. Thank you so much. Good question.
No, ma'am. My name is Priya Sharma. I wanted to ask that did Baba Ramdev inspire you to start doing yoga after you came to India?
Thank you, my dear, but I don't know who Baba Ramdev is. I know who Sharat Joyce is. That's my guru, and when we choose a guru, we stay with one guru. And my teacher says it really beautifully. Two doctors killed the patient. Two wives killed the husband. Two gurus killed the student. Okay, so it's the same. You need to focus your energy. There's a lot going on in media now. We are all slaves of phones and iPads and computers. We should learn how to use all those tools with awareness. They're really, really useful if we use them with awareness, or they can drive us nuts. So if you're really into Baba Ramdev, wonderful. If you're really into Shivananda, if you're really into Dalai Lama, whatever, pick up one thing and go deep there. Because it's like when you go to a field and you want to find water, and you start digging, and you dig here a little bit, and you say, oh no, I'm tired, and then you go to another hole, and then you little bit, and you never find water because you're not going deep enough. Pick up something, and that's a hard decision. It's like choose like when you fall in love. You know that there's beautiful men all over the world, but there's one that, and you don't understand why. It's weird. It's like he may not even be handsome, he may be rough, he may be like whatever, but you like him. And then you choose to go deep with them. But you cannot like pick everywhere and like try to get it all together. Like, I don't know about like how you new generations are like relating to each other, but I know, like, for example, in my own kids, there's a lot of messages. And there's like this reluctance to just face each other and speak and put out your emotions and come forward. And you're hiding behind the screens. Don't do that anymore. Just take the step forward. Go tell her, I love you, I like you, come on. Let's go out for a coffee. And that means for you, as an Indian society, you need to go beyond many of your conditionings on how to relate to each other. Because there's a lot of expectations from you. Here, my friend, he has been like, his parents have been trying to respect his choices, and that's very progressive, because in India, usually you already know who you should marry by a certain age, and it has not been chosen by yourself. So you need to come to ask yourself those questions. Those are questions that are important for your life, because whoever you choose to spend your life with, they're going to bring you down or they're going to lift you up. And we won't know until we just, put our feet into the water. So my answer would be choose wisely. Choose wisely.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Udit Sharma. As you said, you are practicing yoga so long. So I just want to ask, what are the key points that you never lost your focus?
Since yoga is a spiritual practice, the only thing that keeps me going is the relationship with my guru. I watch him, what he does, what he writes, how he lives his life, and that's an example for me. So that's the only reason I can find that I have not relinquished my practice, because I've had all types of physical pains coming and going. I had three pregnancies in the past 10 years, and it meant like going back to square one and cultivating patience, compassion, humility. So I would say it's devotion. It's actually devotion. What are you devoted to? That's the question. What do you love? Because if there's a love for something, you're gonna feed that. You're gonna wake up early. You're gonna stop eating all those chapatis. I mean, you can eat a few chapatis, not too many. You can have the food that actually nourishes your soul, and stop like contributing to more violence in the food industry, for example. If we are buying organic food to local producers, we're helping them feed their families. We're feeding and nurturing our bodies and our minds, and we're creating a cycle of care and love for the environment and ourselves. So I would have to say that the support is metaphysical. The support is not in this plane. We need to find something that connects us to a higher power. And I'm not talking religion here, please don't get me wrong. I come from a Catholic background, and I have my connection to Jesus Christ and the Virgin Mary and everything, but I also have my connection to Ganesha and Lakshmi and my Guru, and it's spiritual, it's not religious. But spirit is what is going to change our world, and that wisdom is in India. And you are the future leaders of these lands. So therefore you are the future leaders of the world. Thank you.
I wish to have an Hello. Hello ma'am, I'm Umesh Nijhawan section, Epsilon section. I would like to ask you that what all challenges you faced in your life and what motivation brings you in that what you are today right now that helped you.
Thank you so much. What's your name?
Umesh Nijhawan.
So I would like to give the microphone to Ali because all the obstacles he faced in his own path are the same obstacles I faced, I'm sure. So that way we can speak from the human point of view because basically, you know, all of our egos are designed similarly. That's the funny thing. Human egos are not original. There's certain like traits to all of them. So we're going to speak a little bit about that and I hope that helps.
So your question is the obstacles one faces in life. And I already got a nudge from the ambassador asking me to be honest, because it could be controversial actually. So I grew up in a very regular Indian household and I was always very inclined towards rationality. And a lot of the things that, you know, I might say might not go in well, but I was always kind of not following the order. That means I was never really, India is one of the most religious societies. I was not very religious. I was always questioning, very scientific in my temperament. In the beginning, you know, my mom and dad were like fine with it. You know, like he's growing up. He's going to be fine with it. He's eventually going to fall in order. But I kept on, you know, coming up with my own answers that if anything that divides society, I don't want to be a part of it. And that started becoming more and more controversial. And then I wanted to pursue film studies, so that was another challenge. So first I broke out of the social order. Then I decided to break out of the education order, which is instead of doing a regular BTech or being a doctor, like my family has doctors, which is very inclined towards education. I was like, no, I want to study film studies. I want to be an actor. And they were not happy about it. But even I wasn't happy about my decision a few years down the line, like, no, I don't want to do this. And then I just decided, you know, I'm going to stay home and I'm just going to focus on myself. Someone just came and told me that you need to take a year off, so I decided to take a year off. Then eventually I just got into a regular university. But at the same time, there was one thing, like when I look back, like despite being very regular in studies, a mediocre student, you know, I feel that I'm doing relatively well. Like I'm 27 years of age. I've worked for the United Nations. I've served in conflict zones in Ukraine, taught English there, lived in Costa Rica, work as I'm one of the youngest people in my organization at the position I hold. But one thing that always, when I look back in retrospect, is like what really pushed it. That was always to believe in what I was doing. Like if I wanted to be an international relations professional, and there was no one who even heard the idea of IR, international relations, like what kind of a job are you going to get? I just like reading the newspapers every day. I'm interested in what happened in Cuba, what happens in Bolivia, what happens in Hong Kong, when is the lease with the United Kingdom is going to expire and they're going to be part of it. If that is what my passion was, I'm going to follow that. And eventually I took that path. It took me some time. But you know, things fall in place. I read somewhere it's a very everyday, mundane statement. The obstacle itself is the journey. I mean, if there are not going to be any obstacles, life is not going to be that interesting anymore. So I feel like challenges and the obstacles it's what makes it more interesting. Instead, like I think that those are the landmarks which really push you forward.
He spoke about self-doubt. And I really connect to that self-doubt because when I was 33 years old, I was already a lawyer. I already had my master's degrees, and I was not happy. And I was earning a lot of money. And then a friend of mine said, you know, you should come to India. Something there for you. And when I came here, I instantly felt at home. It was like, and that's when my life completely shifted, and I went for the yoga, and I dropped my law career, and I dropped my master's, and I dropped the firm, and everybody was thinking, you're crazy. And as I said in the video, at one point I thought I was crazy. My family was flipping. They didn't know what I was coming so far away, what I was leaving my children behind. And it was such a pull. That's the only thing that I can say. And I'm so glad I followed it, because now I can speak to you and maybe I can instill a change in you. And that's what my life is about, because it's not about me anymore. It's about how can I just take others into their full manifestation. That's what has been granted to me by my teacher. I had no idea I was going to end up like as an ambassador. I had nothing in my mind like that. But this is the magic of practice. When you do your practice, everything that belongs to you in this lifetime is going to come to you effortlessly. You just have to be there in your mat and your connection to yourself and ask yourself, who am I? Who am I beyond my past, beyond my name, beyond my parents' situation, beyond my nationality, my language? Who am I actually? And that power, that essence is in all of us. It's just that it has been blocked by all these distractions that are actually a manipulation. So we all stay asleep. Because if we are asleep in our phones, checking other people's life, we cannot pursue anything ourselves. There's no way. We have to block all these distractions. And yeah, you can go into Facebook, maybe share about your own dream. That's productive. You're not gossiping. You're not checking your ex-girlfriend. You're not doing that. You're like actually making a statement. Because if you have an Instagram account, if you have a Facebook account, if you have a Twitter account, you have a platform. And that's how we communicate nowadays. So use it for the purpose of spreading your own unique self, which is absolutely beautiful and important, because otherwise we wouldn't be here. Each one of us brings an energy into the world. The world wouldn't be the same without us. So each one of you is meant to create something that is completely unique and new. Even if you don't speak, it's not about a matter of words, it's a matter of energy, of frequency. So how do we raise our energy? Even though the family may be flipping out, even though our relationships may be falling apart, even though we may be being judged by other people, we need to connect to ourselves. And that power is there for all of us. Don't doubt it. Because if you keep doubting it and going into the fear, oh my God, what are they going to say? Oh my God, people are going to react. You're ready to take the bullet and bite the bullet. Because you're so in tune to who you are that there's no other choice. It would be like a high treason to your own individuality as a spirit. Because we're in these bodies for a short period of time. How are we going to use this time? There's no time to waste. So there's no way you're going to indulge in fear. You cannot allow that. We are going to do it with fear, but do it anyways.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Mukesh Chaudhary from Section Theta. Ma'am, firstly, despite of being 67-year-olds, you look so young and energetic. My question is, apart from yoga, what have you learned by your journey from Costa Rica to India?
As you saw in the video, Costa Rica is a country of peace. We don't have an army since 1948. Costa Rica is an example of environmental awareness. We are going to ban all our fossil fuels by 2022. That's the intention of our current president. Costa Rica is also a highly educated country. We're small because 5 million people is the size of my neighborhood in Greater Kailash. But 96% of the population in Costa Rica is literate. And we are also a bridge between North and South America. So how do I feel the connection between India and Costa Rica? I think we hold similar family values. We really cherish the value of relationships with our parents, with our siblings, with our immediate family. We have different ways of manifesting that, but that's perfectly and beautifully culturally diverse. We also share love for the land. This land of India is so vast, it's such a huge and infinite continent. One life is not enough to see everything that India offers. But mostly I feel we connect in that aim for peace in different manifestations as well. I know you cannot let go of your army, of course not, because you would be invaded next morning by Pakistan. I know that. But India as a nation has never attacked anyone. I mean, you hold your space, which is your right, but you are not attacking. And that's, for me, it holds a lot of respect in this very tumultuous world. Even like the China thing, the China border, it has been diplomatically arranged and things have calmed down. And you're experts in this type of governance. You may have read about the news in Central America right now. We have a war in our first floor. Nicaragua is going through this painful civil war once again. So there's this dictator that doesn't want to release his power. There's a lot of killings. I have a lot of friends there. They cannot go out at night. There have been kidnapping and murders. And it's such a sad situation of our brothers and sisters in Nicaragua. So what is the purpose of Costa Rica and India in the world right now? Is to hold that space of peace, of being grounded in peace. And that's what I feel each one of us should do as human beings. No matter to my children, they live in Germany, they are rooted in peace because that's what they have been listening since they were babies. How to stay in that safe space inside of your mind where you can not react. And this beautiful exercise that I do, you know, when I feel like my mind is too crazy, I go to Chutney Chowk. And I just stand there in Chutney Chowk and everything is moving and everything is whirling and I'm breathing. And I just say, you know, I can find peace anywhere I am because I am peace. That's my essence. So I would say the movement is peace is possible, peace in the world, and those are my hashtags, my favorite ones. Peace on earth. One more.
Last question.
Ma'am, I also used to got training of yoga for long 4 months, and I was doing meditation, yoga, and pranayams and everything. But then I was improving in all the factors. But then it happens, I went on a vacation for like 15 days or like, I was enjoying there, so I was not doing yoga on a regular basis there. And then when I came back, I did my yoga for 1 day and I was feeling very lazy or very painful, and after that I couldn't continue. So I couldn't continue, and it also happens in other activities also, like we opt for singing and then we continue singing and then we get bored, and because we have a very fickle mind and then again on dancing on anything. So my question is how to stay motivated every day, or how to stay continue our what we focus on, how to stay motivated every day.
So that's a wonderful question, Priya, because you're actually speaking about training your mind, because your body follows your mind. So that's what we do with the yoga. It's not a physical thing, even though we're using the body as a physical instrument. there are certain poisons in us that we come into this lifetime with, and one of them is sloth. Others are anger, delusion, ambition. There's these, and we all carry them. And the yoga practice is going to dissolve them. So you need to make a commitment to yourself that you want to have a new mind. And you're going to get a new body anyways. The new body comes as a bonus. It's not about getting very beautiful yogi body, because all these postures we see in Instagram, that's a degeneration of yoga. Why? Because it's only the surface, and people are identifying with that. They want to look like the yogini in the picture. Yeah, it looks beautiful, but it feels so much better. And so when we go into all the social media, yoga is being distorted. Yoga is actually coming back to our silence. When the mind is really racing, I go to my mat, and after 2 hours of breathing, I know I feel better. But for that, you need to wake up early. But for that, you need to go to bed before 10. Because after 10, according to Ayurveda, your energy goes into Pitta, and then you're awake again. And then you don't want to go to bed until 2. And then the next morning, you're feeling like... And the vicious cycle keeps going. So you need to make a lot of changes in your lifestyle. And it's okay, you know, on Friday, we have one free day in Ashtanga Yoga. That night you go out with your friends and you take your beers and your wine or whatever, and next day you sleep, but then you know on Sunday you're going back to your mat. So actually what Ali was saying is like the practice is going to give you structure. It's going to completely change your lifestyle. Because if you practice early in the morning, you're gathering all the energy, all the prana that is really like alive at that time. And you're taking it into your whole day. You're taking also a clear mind and open heart. And that way you can relate to other people without reactiveness, without anger, with a little less more patient. So actually you're practicing for yourself, and you're practicing for your relationships and your projects and your dreams. So you have to practice. That's what I'm saying. Ali wants to add something.
From a very scientific perspective, there's something called the neuroplasticity. So if there is a sweet spot of 21 to 200 days, and the sweet spot is going to be 66 days. So if you want to develop, inculcate, imbibe any new habit in you, you have to continuously do it for the 21 days. And then there's a neural pathway, because the brain is super amorphous in nature. It's going to program itself, rewire itself just the way you want it to be. But you have to be consistent for 21 days or 22 days, and then it just gets on the autopilot. You don't have to worry about it anymore. It just doesn't only apply for yoga. I mean, suppose if you're a person who wants to wake up first thing in the morning and study or learn a new language, then all you need to do is just have a particular time for it, like 5 p.m. And that's dead fix. I'm going to keep my phone on the side, and I'm not just going to have it anymore with me. And all of you, I guess all of them are MBA students out here, right? If you have to, do big in life, then you have to make big sacrifices. There's always going to be distraction around you. And yeah, reading books is also very important.
Yeah, but I mean, you're studying management here, and how are you managing your own life? That's the question for me. How are you managing your time? Because now, I don't know if you heard about Tim Ferriss. Have you heard about Tim Ferriss? Please go to the podcast, Tim Ferriss, 4-Hour Weekday. It's about managing your time, because the asset is time. You could have all the money in the world when you're 70, but you don't have any more time left or energy or whatever. So you cannot travel the world at 70. You need to start traveling the world now. And maybe that's going to mean living a simpler life, not a luxurious life as you imagine was success, but it's freedom, and you have time, and you can take your computer anywhere. You can be in Costa Rica in a beach, you can be in New York, you can be in Asia, you can be anywhere in the world and carry on the project and at the same time enjoy life. That's what life is for. It's not to wait until you have like so much money and then you're dead. You understand? So it's about really seizing the moment. And in a practical way, how do you do that, Priya? How do you start your practice? Don't think about starting a yoga practice or meditation practice on a YouTube video. Please don't. You need to have a physical teacher to transmit their energy to you. That's called the Guru Shishya Parampara. Once you get that injection, it's like you go to a charger and they charge you. And then you go and do it on your own, and then you go back to the teacher. So we were meant to meet. I was talking to your chancellor. We're going to start some yoga programs here in the university. It's important, and not only for you, for them, for the teachers. Because how are they managing their energies too? How are they managing their personal lives? How are they managing their dreams? Their lives. That's the best example of someone successful. You can feel them vibrating to their higher level. You can feel them, yeah, I'm going to teach the class. Please open the book. Gosh. You want to go, you instantly go into your chapter. So it's coming into your full mode, into your full passion, into your full fire. And we need someone to ignite that fire in us. We cannot do it on our own. Why? Because we have been conditioned for so many years since we were kids. Parents, I don't have enlightened parents. Any of you has enlightened parents? No, so they are transmitting us their own conditioning, and that goes back to the first human being. So it's about freeing yourself from that. And it takes a lot of courage, it takes a lot of devotion, it takes a lot of pain sometimes. When you're really in pain and you say, I don't want to live this life like this anymore, it's too much, I need to change something. And that change can happen today in your own awareness. It's just like, I'm going to stop extracting my mind. I mean, denial works to a certain point. But at some point we need to wake up, and we're having this conversation because you are meant to wake up. And also there's a 2-hour flight to Bangalore and then a 3-hour taxi to Mysore, to my guru. And now you know about him, and now maybe you need to go there in December. Actually, he offers scholarships for Indian students. You're very lucky. Thank you so much. So surrender your spot, please. Two of you. Thank you so much. Okay, since you surrender your spot, you can come back. Come back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So these 6 volunteers, they have a mission. Actually, I need 2 more. Oh, that was fast. Did you see that? I love that. Thank you. We've said here. Anyways, they are gonna be like the so. I was practicing this morning and 4 words came to me regarding this event. One of them is leadership. The other one is inspiration. The third one is purpose. And the fourth one is service. So each one of them is going to get one of these cards. And they have the mission of integrating the word and the significance of this word into their current projects. Okay? Also, all of them, they're going to get an invitation to practice yoga with me next Saturday because we have a gathering and Ali is going to give them that. they are going to extend you all the logistics. All right, so you're also invited to come, but they're gonna be like the top of the pyramid, and then it's going to expand. Is it clear? All right, so come with this. What's your name? So you are going to get SEVA, service. Your projects are going to have a social impact from now on.
Your whole life has to be devoted to that. You don't have to speak, you have to do something.
Yes. Or whatever you're producing right now, you're going to start bringing that forward. Don't worry, you don't have to do it now. You can do it in this next year. And at the end of the year, you present me with a project. I would love to know how you're going to impact others through your projects. This is like a marriage, you see? They're getting married to a higher idea. Your name? You get the word leadership. And you're going to create a project where Arshita is going to be the leader. Because Shakti is empowered now, in case you don't know. Okay, and you're going to support her in her project in any way she asks. You have to trust her, because she's the wisdom right now. Okay? Tommy? Sumit? And Shubhangi. Okay, you get the word inspiration. So you're going to research this teacher that I spoke to you about, Tim Ferriss, in the internet. And you're going to really study his podcasts and his books and everything. And you're going to deliver that into a beautiful project for the university about being more efficient with time and at the same time happier. So you're enjoying time at the same time you're working. Inspiration. That one. Wonderful. You get the word purpose. So you really need to think about this one. He already knows it. His purpose in life is to make others happy. That's the purpose. Wonderful. Thank you. So this purpose you're going to bring into the management of a company. In any company that you work, you're going to bring that intention. Even if you don't have to say anything to anyone. You can do it yourself, and that energy is going to expand to the rest of the company. It's like magic. Okay? Thank you so much. All right. So we have service, leadership, inspiration, and purpose. Okay, and they are going to speak to Ali. Ali is going to give them the coordinates for the yoga class on Saturday, and they will invite you if you want to come. What do you need to bring? Just a yoga mat and some food to share afterwards. Okay? Thank you.